Hey there, folks. I'm Zerfall, and welcome back to Let's Play Alter Ego. Last we left off, we followed this little path up here, and we found out where our dad kept his best porno stash. We're gonna bypass this social, I think. How are we doing? Let's review our stats real quick. All right, we're 9. We don't have an occupation. We're still single, even though we found a centerfold. It might keep us single for longer than we expect. And our calmness isn't that great. Our confidence is good. Expressiveness is good. We're not very gentle. We need to be more gentle. We're very not physical, so that's why we have to be more gentle. But our social level's pretty good so far. So, and you know what? I've got a little screen here that's going to tell me what all these things are. Yeah, that's social development. The heart is emotional development. Where is physical? It's the x-rays. Jeez, but we're going to fail all the physical stuff. That's how crappy we are. That's the mental. Our familiar ties are pretty good. Let's go ahead and do this brain one first. Develop our intellectual sphere. Mr. Quincy is the toughest teacher in your school. One day you forget to put your homework in with the rest of the items you need for school. Quincy asks where your homework is. You tell him you forgot it. He says, "Come now. Can't you be more creative than that?" Why don't you tell me something more believable like, "Mr. Quincy, I did my homework but my dog threw up on it. Everyone in the class laughs. Hard at your expense." Mr. Quincy gives you a punishment assignment to do in addition to the work you have not handed in. He says, "What have you got to say for yourself now, mister?" Fuck you, Mr. Q. Let's say unaffected and say nothing. We're just like, meh. Whatevs. You think that jerks like this are not worth getting upset about. This may be true, but in fact, as you let him belittle you. But the fact is, you let him belittle you. If this happens enough times without you behaving assertively, you will develop poor attitudes about yourself and expect this kind of treatment from everyone. Yeah, but it's different when it's a bit of a teacher. You can't really tell him to fuck off. All right, maybe that wasn't a great one to use. There wasn't really a good way out. Yeah, I think maybe we'll do our emotional development a little bit. We're at 80. We can probably get a bit higher. Ooh, this episode contains subject matter of a sexual nature. Hit run stop to exit now. In the schoolyard, your friends are sitting around discussing something very secretively. You go over to see what's going on, and you hear one of them say something very strange. It has to do with the way you were made. Let's be skeptical and ask your mom for the real story. She already told us about death. Maybe she can tell us about life as well. You find it difficult to believe, but you have seen Wild Kingdom enough times to know that anything is possible. You confront your mom with the information as you remember hearing it. What's she gonna say? Your choice for a leisurely topic of conversation catches Mom off guard. Later, you have a nice discussion about how babies are born. She stresses the love aspect, but neglects to tell you that practicing for the real thing can be fun too. You may find this out for yourself later. You brood about it for hours, wondering how that could be the thing people are always getting so crazy about. Except we have the Playboy. You conclude that it must be some kind of germ people catch when they get older. You will almost surely be infected later. Doesn't quite go with the topic of the last one, but Marcus Cripple and the Tubeheads. Okay, it's a band. Marcus Cripple and the Tubeheads are the most popular rock group with the kids your age. Anyone who likes them is in. If you don't like them, or the new hit song, "I Love You, Blowtorch Eyes," you are a definite geek. Must be concerned with peer acceptance and spend our whole allowance on their new album. We want to be popular. We're not physical. We can't afford to get bullied. You lay it gently on the table and listen to the hard-driving sounds of lead singer Marcus Cripple. I love you, blowtorch eyes. When I kiss you, my heart fries. With your looks, you paralyze. Put my love on your burner. I'm your biggest yearner. Blowtorch eyes. That is so beautiful. The next day, they're not a popular band anymore. All right. How much further do we have to go here? Kind of want to get closer to this stuff later on because, yeah, see, we've got the latter thing, which is career stuff. I kind of want to get to that, try to make it to that, because normally you don't make it too far up this path. So let's go with the physical one. Hopefully nothing bad happens, because that would be no good. A very aggressive boy starts an argument with you and challenges you to a fight after school. Everyone whispers about the big fight. It looks like there will be a large crowd watching. Let's be frightened, but show up after school. Nah, let's be tough, but show up after school. We can't win a fight. Yeah, it's not going to let us do this. Yeah, oh well. Stupid anxiety. Your anxiety makes it impossible for you to react quickly. The other boy jumps you from behind and beats you up. The only reason that you showed up at all was so that you wouldn't look foolish in front of the crowd. The fact that you didn't chicken out does very little to reduce the swelling over your eyes. See, I don't think we were tough enough to win the fight anyways. I thought maybe if we were frightened. This game really seems to think that... Yeah, we really should go this way. If you're anxious, if you're cautious, or anything like that, if you don't jump in with both feet, you can't possibly win. You ask mom if you can climb the big rock in the park with a group of friends. She says no. Everyone tries this at least once in their life. Dad says, sure, son, just be careful. You can have second thoughts or go. Let's go. Mom and Dad can fight about it later. We're going to have fun. Except we're not very physical, so we're going to get hurt. Yep. It's a beautiful day, and you and your friends are having a great time at the top of the rock. You and your friends get silly and start to push each other, each claiming, I'm the king of the hill. One of your friends pushes you a bit too hard, and you begin to slip off the rock. For a moment, it looks as if you can regain your balance, but you don't. You tumble off the rock and fracture your skull in 3 places. Yeah. Well, let's work on our intellectuality, because we're going to need that. Who's the founder of modern chemistry? Well, now. Let's see what our options are here. Louis Pasteur? No. No. So I could guess this one just based on the fact that this is pasteurization, and I believe that's the Mademoiselle of radiation. I'm correct. Who is the founder of modern psychiatry? All right. So... So this might explain why this development of children is not quite right. If they, I mean, maybe he's still considered the founder of modern psychiatry, but I thought most of his crap was proven to not be that accurate, which would make even more modern psychiatry different. Maybe it's postmodern psychiatry that people are on now. Who was the first American in space? Is that right? Oh, it has to be Shepard. He's like the guy from Mass Effect. Who is the inventor of the telegraph? Morse makes sense. I guess he made Morse code, but you need a code to put over your telegraph. All right. Who is the Austrian-born founder of the Ethical Culture Society? Well, I had to look at this one before I made a guess. Luckily, I got the cheat sheet. Who takes over as president if both the president and the vice president die? And that is the Speaker of the House. Yeah, you know I cheated on that one. I'm Canadian. I don't know these things. All right. So we did good on that. We've been passing our tests. wonder how much time we have left. 11 years old. Okay, I wonder if it's going to tell me. No, it never tells me how many years I have in each stage. So, I mean, we're just going to have to wing it, I guess. All right. Let's hit this one up here. You have been going out with someone for 2 whole months. Summer is here, and she tells you that her parents made arrangements to spend it in Europe. She asked if she could stay home, but was told she couldn't. We're like 11. Let's swear our faithfulness. She is probably gonna, before she leaves, you tell her that there'll never be another girl like her. You remain faithful to her for the entire summer, counting the seconds and agony until her return. Of course, you expect her to do the same. And she doesn't. 3 days after she leaves, a sexy 14-year-old asks you to stop by after dinner. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're like 11 here. This is kind of awkward. She ends the discussion by saying you have nice eyes. You can... Oh, snap. I have a feeling that no matter what you do, this is bad. I kind of actually want to save a state and see what happens. Save snapshot. And we're going to call this choices. Let's accept the offer. It's going to be a test from her friend. What a heel. Your handkerchief is still wet with the tears of your girl shed as she told you goodbye on your way to the airport. You go over to the 14-year-old's house, and she asks you if you would like to taste her new strawberry lipstick. The fun way. You can... say okay and pretend you don't know what she means. Oh man, it's got to load pretty hard here. Something's going down. It's probably checking on things. What do our stats say about trying to be a playa? Man, it's loading for a very long time. I hope it didn't crash. It's showing the load light on the drive. Jeez. Wow. The game really doesn't like the way we've decided to play this off. What if I turn on turbo times? I don't think the wrong disc is in. This is most peculiar. Yeah, see, it's paused. It doesn't seem to have crashed according to the system here, but it is just doing nothing. So I think the game itself has crashed, but the emulator has not. All right, well, really quickly then. It's pretty lucky, actually, that we did a save state there. Trying to be a jerk. Let's go ahead and close this. And we will just hit play again on that. Choices. Play. Hopefully that just comes back up in the recorder. Yes, okay, boom, there we go. All right. What if we just try it one more time to see if it indeed crashes the game? Yeah, it would seem that that is something we cannot do. Interesting. Not sure what's up with that, but we will go ahead, load it up one more time, and try something else. All right, let's go ahead and accept the offer, but this time we're going to explain our present arrangement. See, we're just coming over to be friends. The game can't handle this. This is weird. I wonder if like the wrong disc is in or something. Oh, can't load chunk. So that's what happened when I ejected that disk. Continue. Air, low, whatever. Okay, so that messed that up. Let's see if we can make this work here. Insert the right disk. Let's reload this. At least we know we can get out of it if we absolutely need to. I'm going to try ejecting the disk and hitting accept the offer. What a heel. Yeah, see, there's not even a disk in the drive right now for it to check. I'll pretend like we don't know what she means. Can't load chunk. Okay, so let's put the disk back in. Continue. Okay, so that still just kicks us out. So one last try. We're going to do the right thing. I wonder if saving the state itself is what broke that. That would be an interesting conundrum. Reject the offer. You have shown outstanding character. The end. Okay. Well, the game praised us for it, so it can't be a bad thing. Let's do this event and then get into these career paths. Even though we had a chance to I guess, date up in the social sphere, although a 14-year-old trying to date an 11-year-old is kind of creepy. Or make out with one anyways. Pre-seek failed. I got the right disc in. The heck's going on? Oh, jeez. Okay, I can do that. Check this. Did I have the wrong disc in the whole time? Huh, let's try one more time here. Well, no, we'll just run with it. I think I might have had the wrong disc in and we were just running off what was already loaded into the system. That doesn't make sense. There's an elderly woman who lives in a house up the street. Everyone calls her the witch. Some people say she's really paranoid, calling the cops on kids all the time, screaming out the window, and even when there's nobody there. At night, she keeps her light on all the time and sits looking out the window. For the past few days, the light has been off. Some of the kids think she's been dead in there or something. They jump in front of her house and sing "Ding dong, the witch is dead, and laugh. Let's be sad and try to see if anything's wrong. One afternoon after school, you look from outside the gate to see if there's anything going on inside the house. There is nothing. You can go through the gate and knock on the door. You hear a voice call out from the back of the house. Go away and leave me alone. You can say, I'd like to know if you're okay in there. You hear nothing for about 30 seconds. Finally, the door opens. The woman looks pale and dazed. She seems smaller than you imagined and very delicate. In the corner of her almost bare living room, there's a television set, and beside it a large box of old rubber balls and toys that were left or accidentally fallen on her lawn. She asks you why you have come. You mention that you noticed the light has gone out, and you thought she might need some help. She explains that she has no way to replace it, and she is too old to climb up and do it. You can ask her if she would like you to do it. Excuse yourself. Now that you know it's just a problem with like, well, we'll offer to help. Came all this way. She thanks you. Her face softens. While you are fixing the light, she tells you a very sad story. A long time ago, she had a son, very much like you, so polite and so kind. She says he was a beautiful boy and repeats it over and over, as beautiful as a picture. She and her husband lived with her son, not too far from the train yard. She used to tell her son, James, Robert, stay away from the tracks. You'll get hurt. One day, her son and her husband went out to play catch with an old football. The ball got away from James and rolled across the tracks. Oh, jeez, right in the feels. While he was chasing it, his foot got wedged between two rails. His father and he struggled to release it, but before they could, they were both struck by a freight train and killed. She's been alone ever since. When you're finished fixing the light, the lady gives you some milk, freshly baked cookies. It almost seems as though she doesn't want you to go. But before you leave, this could be a way for us to get a bit of a job. Let's thank her for the cookies and ask her if she would like someone around to do odd jobs. Her face brightens. You must be paid, she says. I can't afford much, and you'll have to do a fine job. But you can have all the cookies and brownies you can eat. I promise you that. You have done a much kinder thing than you can possibly imagine at your age. You have given this woman a reason to live. Aww. Well, we did something good. And we were forced to do something good by the game. It set us back on the right path. A neighbor approaches you and asks if you would like to make some extra money doing yard work. You evaluate the job. It's backbaking for a $5 per week payoff. We've already got a job with a little old lady. It's going to be like, come now, you could make money as a kid. Work is not for you right now. That's okay. But you have just passed up the opportunity to collect some resources. Not yet. There's still another one a little further up. Oh man. Every one of your friends has a new turbo power mud jumper dirt bike. A kind of bicycle. You are being left out Saturday morning you are being left out of Saturday morning bike trips, and your friends call you a baby because you have one of those regular sissy bikes. Oh man, we can steal a dirt bike. Let's do this. Although we're trying to fit in a little too often now. How would you like to try to make the money? Doing odd jobs. We're already good at that. Unfortunately, doing odd jobs is not the kind of steady work that would pay enough money for you to save and make a purchase of this size. Your independence is remarkable and will positively influence your emotional characteristics, but for now, you don't reach your goal. Boo! Do you know what? Paper routes don't pay well enough for you to save up and buy a bike either. This is some BS. Okay, we're making our way towards the end here. We might have to go back and do some other stuff. You're sitting in the car with your dad, warming it up, when the phone rings and he has to go inside to take the call. You let the keys dangling from the ignition switch and hear the purr of the engine. No one would notice if you move the car just a little and jump back to your seat before your dad returns. We are going to be safe and keep still. This is not a good plan. We're not physically strong enough to stand on a rock. We're not physically strong enough to press the brakes. Reflecting on the possible consequences of your behavior is a sign of developing impulse control. You will have plenty of opportunities to wreck the family car later, under more legitimate circumstances. Alright. Now these endgame ones seem to be a chance to affect things a little more. I guess we should have taken that little odd job. Mary Jane Jones is one of those friends who really knows how to be one of the guys. She's been a good friend of yours since 3rd grade. You'd like to ask her to the school dance, except for one problem. She is 6 inches taller than you. Okay, we have confidence. We're self-assured, and we ask her to the dance. What happened to our friend from Europe? Or that went to Europe? Nah. Of course, you have a fantastic time. You make fun of everyone who is stupid enough to comment on the difference in your size. 5 years after the dance, Mary Jane becomes a $3 million a year model. And we get to say we went to a school dance with her, and whatever. Either that, or we have the chance to wait, and then in high school, like, marry her and be like, look, we know she's becoming a $3 million a year model. We're going to be a kept man. Somehow I doubt that's going to be the way it works out. Ooh, this episode contains subject of a sexual nature. Hit run stop now to exit. I really want to know how old we've gotten. This is getting a little weird if it ends up being someone older. Robbie Starker always gets his father's girly magazines out whenever friends come over to visit. Today he is entertaining you and some other friends when he suggests you try something new. He explains you are going to rub yourself down there while looking at the pictures. Something really great happens. Everyone seems to think it's a good idea. Let's be aroused and leave the house. It works. In the privacy of your own room, you do it again. It turns out to be quite a bit of fun. All of a sudden, your body begins to shudder, and you wet yourself a little. Is this supposed to happen? I think that's what everybody wonders. Yes, it is supposed to happen. Even though no one will admit it, almost everyone does it. It's called masturbation. There you go. Game teaching you things. Don't give this game to your... Oh man, another one. They're just all about this in this thing. I had a party at the house of one of your friends, Linda Martell, aka the most incredible fox in the 8th grade. Okay, we're in 8th grade now. We skipped ahead a bit. I bet you if you just come flying up here, it's like, oh yeah, you're 7 and you're at this 8th grade party. I asked you to be her partner in a game that some of the kids are playing. The game is called 7 Minutes in Heaven, and it's played like this. Here's some more ideas for your kids if you let them play this game. All of the couples find a place to be comfortable in a very large room. Somebody is in charge of working the lights. When the lights go out, the couples make out and stuff for 7 minutes. When the light gets turned back on, the couples can stay with each other or switch partners. Let's be aroused and accept the offer. We can't be uninterested and accept the offer, can we? The two of you get comfortable and the lights go off. Linda pulls you close and presses her lips against yours. You can become more aggressive. Kiss her for a bit before trying anything else. Yeah, you don't want to get too handsy. As you kiss her, you feel her moving close to you, pressing her chest against yours. You can give her a French kiss. Try to touch her on the outside of her blouse. Nibble on her ear. Excuse yourself, saying, I just remembered I've got something to do, and keep kissing her. This is kind of hard because we don't even know anything about this girl as a player. So how are we going to decide what is actually the best course of action for what she would like? How much time has passed is another good question. Interesting. Let's nibble on her ear. She might not like it, or she might. Oh, geez. That stuff only works in TV and treat models. You treat her ear as if it was a piece of dried fruit. Yuck, you disgusting animal, Linda cries out. Your 7 minutes are brought to an abrupt end. Oh. Oh, well. I thought maybe this was like a movie or cheap novel. I guess they're trying to be too realistic. I think that might end. Yes. Well, that's too bad. Apparently we should have French kissed her or tried to feel her up. Or said we had something to do. You have just passed through the childhood phase of your life. 1. Family life is progressing very well. Dad is still the greatest hero of all time, and Mom, even though she yells, is pretty terrific too. All right, we fixed that problem. Physically, you are a sack of crap. Not very healthy. Be careful to avoid situations that could lead to illness. Socially, this can be an awkward phase of life, especially when you hit the ripe old age of 9 or 10. You should like girls. Should you not like girls? Decisions. All in all, you were extremely lovable. You were well-mannered and respectful of adults. You mistakenly... I may be mistaken, but I see a bit of Casanova in training. So we learned our lesson about ear nibbling, but that will not work in this game. Now, regarding your emotional and personality development. You are a remarkably trustworthy young man. Your sense of ethics and fair play are quite remarkable for a child of your age. You have a gentle, easygoing way about you most of the time. You have not had very many schoolyard brawls, and you seem to be able to control your temper, even when the girls giggle at you as you walk by. You're about to enter adolescence. It is a somewhat hectic time of life, full of surprises. There will be many very high highs, very many low lows. With each year, you will gain responsibilities. You may also notice that people will begin to start forgiving you less for things previously described as mere childhood habits. You will be expected to leave your burping and other questionable talents in the social circles where they are unanimously approved of, your peer group. Oh, yes. Then there's the matter of girls. If you haven't noticed them much in this phase, watch out. They've noticed you. All right, so why don't we call that a video? It's actually pretty good timing. It's too bad about that one thing, and it's with the game crashing, and it's also too bad that we are not very good at 7 Minutes in Heaven. But next time, we are going to move on into high schoolness and becoming a, I guess, adolescent, and see if we can't get up to even more mischief. I'm Zerfall. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you again on the next episode.